Hello, Stacy, the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome, everyone, to Demystify the Divine, weekly readings and tools to connect. And yes, you did catch me jamming to my own intro. I love that tune. My social media marketing manager guy also happens to be a music composer, and he composed it, and he composed a couple of things for me, and they're just awesome. And I get really excited because I am like Dancing Queen meets meditative music. So like chill out radio on Sirius. I think it's Sirius. No, chill out radio is on Pandora. That's my jam. I love it. That and like the Dance Mix channel. And then I listen to Top 40. So there you go. Anyway, how is everyone doing? So excited to be joining with you all this week. Thank you so much for all of your well wishes from last week. I have not been overly expressive about this, but I've been in kind of an interesting healing journey since November of 2022. And some days I'm just fine, and some days not so much. So last Wednesday was a not so much. But good news is we kind of were able to kind of get to the heart of the matter. And, it's only sunshine and daisies, wine and rainbows from here on out. So thank you so much for all of your well wishes. It was much needed and much appreciated. So as we are connecting today, those of you who are just showing up, or it's your first time, welcome. So excited to have you here. We do a little bit of everything on this show. And I have my trusty sidekick who is awesome and runs the show in the background and sometimes in the foreground as well, Mr. Keone. So excited to be having him sort of produce the show and keep me on track, because once I start tuning in, I lose all sense of, I want to say, linear or physical time. And so I never know what's going on. We do channeling here. We do tarot and oracle readings here. We do a word of the week or a phrase of the week, depending on how our guides want to show up for us. General wisdom and information around transformation. And we also, we do a section, it's one of my favorite sections of the show that we do, it's called Grab Your Deck. And so it's an opportunity for you to get to know your own deck. I choose a couple of different questions. I write those questions out, and it gives you a chance to take the general reading that we all receive and really be able to, I want to say, apply it for you, apply it to your life, apply it to your week. Now, something that I want to say that I have not been saying for a while, but I'm going to start saying it now. Even though we connect weekly, and the messaging, I want to say, has to do with sort of the week coming up. Time is fluid. There is really no such thing as time. I mean, there is in the physical 3D, but when we're talking about metaphysical and we're talking about the multidimensionality of our humanness and our capacities and our skills and guides, time doesn't exist. So these messages, whenever they land for you, wherever you catch them, whether it's this week or 3 months from now or a year from now, there is going to be something in it for you, especially with the channelings. So I just want to throw that out and say a big warm welcome. And to all of my peeps who show up every week, faithful to the cause, grateful to see you. Thank you so much for being here and for connecting. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of go into my happy place and see what we get in terms of a word of the week or a phrase of the week, and see what the message is from our guides. Are you ready for the game? Are you ready for the game is what I'm hearing. So the guidance that's coming through in the energy of today, I feel, is our dream teams, our support, talking about the collective. Are you ready for the game? Because we're in it. We're in the middle of the game. Are you ready for it? Are you playing a game? Are you feeling sometimes like this happens to me in my dream state from time to time? It's an anxiety dream where I wake up and all of a sudden I'm on stage I'm playing a part. There's an audience, and I have no idea what the lines are. I have no idea what the part is. I don't even know who the people are on stage with me, and I'm supposed to make it look good, right? Are you feeling that way in this energy right now? Or are you feeling like, I got this. I'm tuned in and turned up, and I'm listening to my intuitive guidance. I'm listening to the psychic energy and the psychic messaging that I'm receiving, either in my mind's eye or through my body or out in what I see, and applying it to the game of life that we're all playing. Are you ready for the game? And the other question is, how are you showing up for the game? I'm also seeing in my mind's eye, are you a cheerleader? Are you on the field? Are you, playing a particular position? Are you in the stands? What side of, which team are you rooting for? Are you sort of in the backstage? Are you the water person? Are you the coach? Maybe you're the coach or the assistant coach. What part are you playing in the game of life? And keep in mind that it is choice. This isn't this isn't an assignment. It is a choice. I am here for the game. Where do I want to be? How do I want to participate in the game? And keep in mind that you are welcome to change your position, throughout the game. So maybe you start off as a cheerleader and then you decide, you know what? I actually think I can, kick that goal. So I'm going to be a player on the team. I'm going to be a player on the field. And then you do that for a while and you decide, you know what? I just want to be in the stands. I want to root for everybody and eat my popcorn and, and drink my beer and, call out sing the songs and call out the cheers, because that is camaraderie. And I'm here for the energy of the event. I'm here to contribute to the energy of the event. So this week, there's a lot of invitation to engage in the game of life in the way that you choose. Now, some of us are all in, go big or go home. It bears review. Why are you go big or go home? Why are you all in? What is it that you're all in for? Are you clear on your goal? Or are you doing this because that's what you thought you were supposed to do? But if you stop and take pause, you recognize, I actually don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I'm running in this direction. I don't know why I'm holding this ball. I don't know why I've got this pom-pom in my hand. I don't know who I'm cheering for. I feel very much that there's an energy of really taking pause and connecting to the role that you're taking on in your life. And yes, we're talking about the collective, because the collective is shifting and changing and growing, and we're creating it as we go. And this also can kind of connect to our individual lives as well. So we don't need to, throw the baby out with the bathwater, based on what you're reviewing and what you're receiving through that review from a collective energy, you can apply it to the individual life. But the guidance that's coming through is that this is really about, what role am I playing in the collective? I always say, what am I contributing? What am I choosing to contribute? How am I choosing to contribute? It's an important question to ask, because there are a lot of us who are still, my favorite saying, or one of my multiple favorite sayings, is we throw spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. This is not the time or the place or the energy to be doing that right now without having asked the questions. Why am I doing what I'm doing? What role would I like to embark on? How do I want to contribute? I know I talk about this a lot, but this is what is coming through this week. So there's also an energy of, I feel like, topsy-turvy. So I feel like there's some swirling energy that we're all going to, sort of be, okay, I'm hearing the phrase caught up. We are all going to be caught up in it to some degree, whether we're being, sort of just, it blows by us or it brushes by us and we're witness to it, or whether we get caught up in the swirl of it, or we're right in the center of it. Maybe we are the storm. Maybe we are the whirlwind, right? I feel like that's coming through right now because the overarching energy of where we're at is the shift, the change, the transformation. And it's important for us to be intentional. And I feel like that's the crux of it. That's the core piece of it, right off the hop, is the being intentional. How do I want to, if I'm supposed to be intentional, how do I want to be intentional? How do I want to show up? What do I want to bring to the table? Pay attention this week also to the vibrancy of your energy. And here's the catch. You might be going, vibrancy? Oh my God, like I haven't felt vibrant since 1982. If that's you really want to focus not on the collective, not on anyone else, but you. And really reconnecting with your passions, reconnecting with that soul flame energy. Because if you can't connect to the word vibrancy, it's going to be hard for you to get high, right? To elevate, to ascend, to get into those higher frequency spaces. It's not impossible, but it's kind of going, okay, well, this is where I'm trying to be. And if I'm feeling like this, if I'm feeling low all the time, maybe it's a vibrancy issue. Maybe the frequency of my energy isn't vibrant enough at this time. And that's where I want to put the focus, clearing the energy out so that I can feel or infuse that vibrancy. If you heard me talk about vibrancy and you're like, I got vibrancy up the wazoo, I'm all about the vibrant. What I would say to you is share it. Put it out there, shine your light, shine it brightly, and don't be afraid to share it with other people. So, and some of you might be kind of in the middle. Find ways to connect with vibrancy. Vibrancy in my brain right now, vibrancy can really be felt and connected to through color. So, for example, I'm seeing like a neon pink, a hot pink in my mind. When people look at hot pink, whether you love it or hate it, it draws attention. It brings your attention to it, right? You can't help but notice it. It's bright. It's vibrant. It has an energy that you can't maybe stop looking at it. Or maybe it's so vibrant that you're like, I don't want to look at it because holy cannoli, it's giving me a headache, right? So look to colors. And I want to say, look to colors out in nature that are vibrant. Spring is springing, right? So it's a great time to be looking at the flowers and seeing the different colors that are sprouting up through the soil to grace us with their beauty, right? So vibrancy is a big thing. Okay, so that's our sort of word or phrase. Actually, it's a phrase of the week. And I'm going to pull some cards. I don't know if I'm going to channel today or not. We're going to see how I feel. But we're definitely going to pull some cards, see what's coming up here. And Keone, I think I just stepped on something. So I have a wonderful producer and I just keep him mute the whole time. I'm just all about, I run the show.
It's okay. I just realized that the card names didn't take. So I'm glad you messed up before me. So now I have an excuse to have my mess up.
Absolutely. It's all good. So our first card deck today, and actually it's in place of our tarot. So I do a tarot deck typically, and then I do an oracle deck. Today we're doing two oracles, only because, and if you've been watching me for a while, I've been mentioning that recently I've really been craving decks that don't have a lot of keywords or written words on them and that are a bit untraditional in their tarot, simply because the system of tarot, there we go, Journey of Love. Awesome. So the system of tarot, it is a system of divination. And when you've worked within it for a long time and you're I'm not an air sign, but I have more air than anything else. I'm actually a Virgo sun, but then everything else in my world is air. So there you go. So I'm very heady. I'm in my head. I'm logical and rational. And so what happens is I get focused on here's the card, here's the memorization meaning of the card, and I get stuck in there. And I like cards that instill the inspiration. You know, the tarot, the system of tarot can be very helpful if it allows me to step outside my box. And some people don't have a problem with it. They read it beautifully. For me, that when I get into certain modes and moods, it can put me in a box. So all of that to say, I'm reading from the Journey of Love Oracle deck from Alana Fairchild in place of the tarot. And then I have a different deck that we're going to read and pull the Oracle card from. So tapping into our message for this week. Oh, beautiful. So we got Across the Waters. So what I really am drawn to when I look at this picture, without the words, like I'm not even paying attention to the words, I'll come to that in a second, is we're talking about waters, but there's no blue in this card. It's greens and it's yellows and a little bit of white. I mean, there's some darker, there's like a hint of blue. Actually, my finger is covering the hint of blue here, but it's such a tiny hint and it's a deep blue. It's more like an indigo. So we're connecting to heart chakra, we're connecting to our inner healers, and we're connecting to the solar plexus. So it's our personal power, mastery, identity, and co-creation. Who am I through my heart space? Who am I through my heart space? So this week, as we were sort of talking about are you ready for the game? And what are you, what part are you playing? How are you choosing to engage with the game of life? I'm feeling very much that the message is about getting to know this new version of yourself through the heart chakra, not through the head, not even through the soul. And I talk about the soul a lot, not through those areas, not even through spirit. You're getting to know it through the heart space. And if you guys have watched me for a while, you know that whenever I'm channeling the arcs, they seem to be coming through lately with a lot of different heart exercise, connecting to the heart, touch your heart, breathe into your heart, expand your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart, your heart. Why is that? Because we are expanding collectively out of a fear-based society into a love-based society. And this love is frequency, not as feeling. And where does that frequency come from? Where does that emanate from? Our body center, which is our hearts. So across the waters this week, I'm feeling very much that there's a message for all of us. And I should take out the this week, because really it's whenever you find it. Okay. So across the waters, when I look across the water, what do I see? Do I see a ray of hope? Am I excited about what I'm seeing? Am I preparing? Is my journey preparing me to go across the waters? Is it an island? Is it another country? What is across the water for you? Are you looking across the waters because you've just finished your journey and you're looking across at what you're leaving behind or what you're saying goodbye to? Are you looking across the waters with anxiety, with fear? Maybe I'm never going to get to that place. Maybe I feel like that place is just out of reach. Maybe I feel like I'm leaving someone or something important to me behind. Maybe I'm desperately trying to get to that someone or something, and I have no idea how I'm going to get there. So across the waters, in this energy and in this space right now, I feel is an invitation for you to really connect, and water is our ocean of emotion, to really connect with your emotional space, connected to who you are, who you're choosing to become from that heart space. So the ocean of emotion, I always say, sits in our sacral chakra. So that is in our, just below the navel, right? So just below our solar plexus chakra. So the ocean of emotion, we don't automatically associate it with the heart when we're talking about the chakra system, because it sits lower in our body. Here's why. The ocean of our emotion, we have been taught to focus on feeling. It's how we feel. And I always say this too. Feelings are neither true nor false. They just are. But man, oh man, when you're connecting to a feeling, it's kind of hard to dismiss it, right? It's sometimes, especially those really intense feelings, it's hard to say this isn't my truth because you're feeling it all over the place. Well, the invitation now is to connect your ocean of emotion with the heart space and allow that ocean of emotion to be filtered through the heart and then out into the world, because that's how you're taking your love as feeling and you're alchemizing it into love as frequency. And it's the love as frequency that we need to anchor and to live through and to express on this earth. So across the waters, what do you see when you look across the waters? That is a clear indication of where your emotional state is at. And that's going to help you then to bring those emotions into the heart space so that they can be filtered, alchemized, transmuted into love as frequency. And people, frequency is how we are able to do anything. Frequency is the life force. It is spirit going through everything, right? Everything is energy. And frequency is how we connect to that energy. Do we hear the frequency? Do we feel the frequency? Do we not hear the frequency? Do we not feel the frequency? Can we smell the frequency? Can we touch it? You know, how are we seeing it out in the world? So I feel like it's all about frequency and connecting to frequency. And water also, by the way, is a great conduit, right? A great conduit for energy. That's why you're not supposed to be in the water when there's lightning. Because if lightning happens to strike something in the ocean, that energy is going to travel far and wide. And anybody who's in that pool or in that water is going to get electrified because it is a conduit, right? So the heart is a conduit for frequency and energy. All right, we're going to pull an oracle deck today. And this is from the Sacred Creators Oracle from Chris Ann. I love this deck, the same as I love her Light Seers Tarot. Like, this woman is awesome. And she speaks my language too. Like, sometimes she drops an F-bomb, sometimes she drops an S-bomb. She just keeps it real. She's got a great sense of humor. And the card depictions and everything are just really great for the modern times where we're at right now, and helps to really, I want to say, bring a lot of the things that, especially as co-creators, that we don't have languaging for, because we are in this new time. We are creating something new. It's kind of like we gotta build the language. You know, sometimes I allow my brain to go into that place of, I wonder what the world was like before there was an ability to communicate. And this is separate from what the world was like, because we were all telepathic, so we just sent each other images. This was, I want to say, I fantasize about it after we've kind of shed our skills and abilities, right, for more of a, I want to say, a firmer, less heart-based, more fear-based thing that this life is. And I wonder how that was when people were sort of communicating, right? So anyway, I digress. I go off on a tangent here. Oh my God, I pulled this card for myself today as well. So this is our collective card, is Get Back to Elemental. So I feel like the message here is really less about go out into the world and connect with the sun, moon, and the stars, or connect with the grass. All of those things are wonderful and awesome, and, you know, do that. Get back to elemental, I feel, is more of a message for you to get back to your magic. So when we use the term elemental or elementals, we're talking about fairy. We're talking about the little leprechauns in the garden. You know, we're talking about the gnomes. We are talking about earth devas. So these are little earth angels, right? It's earth angel energy that really supports the earth and also supports humanity, all of humanity who can see it and feel it and recognize it and tap into it. And it's the elementals that are actually going to help us to connect with the frequency of love, because we're all here on a physical planet in a physical dimension, and we're trying to elevate and ascend into, I want to say, higher levels of frequency and vibration, right? That's part of the ascension process. Well, how do we do that when we're in such dense energy, thick energy? We go to those elementals because they live on the earth and they also exist in those higher dimensions, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth dimension. They understand what it means to be in, but they haven't lost their ability to be buoyant, to stay light, and to stay in that high frequency. So getting back to elementals, I know it says elemental here, getting back to elementals. Also, I want to say to you, I'm hearing the Sherlock Holmes, it's elemental. It's elemental, my dear Watson. Elemental. What does that mean? It's essence. It's the essence of it. It's elemental. It's foundational, right? It's, of course, it's obvious, right? It's elemental, my dear Watson. It's elemental. So look for the obvious, because I feel also like that's something that we don't always do. We've been trained out of. How many of you have felt like, oh my God, I wish I was psychic. I'm not psychic, but I'm really drawn to all these psychics. And then you start to maybe take a course, or you start picking up on things, and you're like, oh, this person doesn't see anything, but they feel it in their body, and they get this twitch every time they're connecting and they're sharing this experience. Well, that's kind of weird, because every time I'm trying to meditate, my foot itches, my right foot, and it's only my right foot, not my left. Maybe that's not my body being, pedantic or ridiculous or frustrating me and trying to keep me from meditating. Maybe that's a message, and I'm dismissing it because it's an obvious thing, or I'm dismissing it because it's too simple, right? So getting back to, it's elemental, dear Watson, it's elemental. It's really coming back to the basics, right? Get back to the basics. What are the basics? What do I know? What do I feel? What do I see? What do I hear? What do I taste? What do I smell? What do I sense? All of our senses, and of course, in the 3D world, we talk about the 5 senses, and of course, I talk about the 7 senses, because and every people say, oh, it's a 6th sense, is the psychic. I actually see us having 7 different senses in the physical body, in the human body. It's an invitation to get back to those basics, because that's where your psychic ability is going to shine through. That's how your guides connect with you, because that's how you relate to the world. Smell, sense, touch, sound, sight, and whatever else I'm missing there, taste, flavor, whatever it is. This is how we relate and interact with our world. And we've gotten so by rote with it that we don't have to think about it. We just, all of a sudden it's like, ooh, I'm smelling something funky, right? Ooh, but you didn't smell anything weird before because everything was sort of natural and normal. This is an invitation to get back to the basics and maybe pay attention. When you wake up in the morning and you take a deep breath in, what is it that you're smelling? I did this morning, or not this morning, a couple of mornings ago, actually. This is going to be so gross, but my animals, they sleep on the bed with me. And so there's, fur galore on my, of course, I have to have everything that's like pretty and luxurious, feeling and whatever. So it's this cheap crushed velvet thing that I have. And of course, crushed velvet like attracts the animal hair like you wouldn't believe. And I breathe in the morning. I'm like, oh, it's a glorious morning. And I breathe in, oh my God, Merlin needs a bath. Like that was the first thing that came into my head is, okay, priority 1 after feeding, getting up, showering and feeding the boys, Merlin needs a bath. And it's a good day for it because it's a nice day out, so he can run around and dry off a little bit. But man, oh man, I just took a big old whiff of dog, right? That's connected, or that's gathered on my comforter, right? So getting back to elemental, I've been sleeping in that bed and it probably smelled that way for the last 4 days, but I was more tuned in. I was more focused on that. So bring that focus and bring that awareness. All right, guys. So, Peony, I'm feeling a little bit tired. So let's work on 15 minutes and see where I'm at in 15 minutes. If I can still go, we'll take some more questions, but otherwise I think we're going to do the next 15. I think you're on mute, so I can't hear you.
Oh, I was saying, okay.
So, okay,
I was saying,
perfect.
you've already made me nervous because I could tell you're tired because you made me nervous every time you said grab your deck and you kept saying something that sounded like ass and I can't remember what it was.
And because I know that that's like you're hyper focused on that, I'm always like extra trying to make sure that I know what I'm saying. I just
Yes.
realized I didn't create questions, so I'm going to
No,
create
you did not.
questions here. So, do your thing, do your producing.
Mhm.
I'm going to create a couple questions before we take questions.
Yeah, a little thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us every week. I know you already know the spill. If you want to join us live during this grab your deck section, we may only go 15 minutes because of Stacy's energy. So if you want to get it in real quick, click the link that I put in the Facebook and the YouTube chat. You can come on live. Ragu is already in backstage. You do not have to have your camera on. It would be nice, but you don't, as long as we can hear your audio. Once we get done with Ragu, then we will go to the questions that we have start in order. So it's important to come on live if you can, because you have priority. And then we go to the emails, we go to the questions from Facebook, we go to the questions from YouTube, and we do have questions from other social media platforms. So they all go in this queue and they go in order. So I wanted to make sure I explained that this week because I know sometimes people on Facebook will see that they're second in line, but you may actually be seventh. If you're on YouTube, you may see yourself as the third question, but you might actually be the 11th question. So we try to get as many as we can before 9, and we're going to see what we can do between now and 8:45. All right. What are our questions, Stacy?
All right. So, question number 1 today: what is across my waters? What do I need to know about it?
Across my waters is Cuba.
Yes, it is. You're right. And me being a Canuck, I've actually been there. So I'm one of the lucky people that's been able to go there without a whole lot of pomp and circumstance. A lot of my American peeps can't go. And actually, I'm also American. I'm dual citizenship. So if I were to decide to go to Cuba, I have to show my Canadian passport and I have to fly to Canada first.
Yeah.
And then go, kind of thing. So, although that's changed, I think that's changed now. I think
Yes.
Americans can go to Cuba. Okay, question number 2: what energy can help me determine my role in the game of life? Yeah, so we're getting a little esoteric today.
Okay. You pulling the card like you normally do? You want to just start right in with the first person?
Let's start right in because I know a lot of people are looking for guidance for themselves. They don't need to know about me.
All right.
Hi, Stacy. Hi, Keone.
Hi, Ragu. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Stacy?
I'm doing good. So nice to see your face.
Same
I missed
here.
you last week.
Same here. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm hanging
I
in there.
don't. I don't have any cards pulled with
So I
me.
get to
So
pull
can
for
you?
you today.
Yes, please.
I love it.
You always pull exciting cards for me.
Okay, well, good. Well, actually, there was the one reading where you were like, what the hell? But then after you were like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So hopefully it'll hit you right between the eyes today. Okay, so I'm going to pull the tarot and then I'm going to pull the oracle, but technically they're both oracle today. So
Okay.
what is across your waters and what do you need to know about? Oh, this one just popped right out. Oh my God, this is so cool. So it's a 33. You got God speaks. So what I'm really drawn to here is look at the green sort of funneled energy that's coming from, I'm hearing this as being the light of the central sun. So I'm feeling like for you across the waters is the opportunity for you to connect more directly with source. And when I say the light of the central sun, I know you've done healing work with me, so you've heard that term before. But the light of the central sun is, you can think about going into the center or the core of the sun. And a lot of people believe that the central sun is sort of the center of the universe or the multiverse. It's not necessarily our sun, it's the sun of all, right? And when you go into the sun, that's where you meet God. That's where you connect directly with source and you exchange energy. So I feel like for you, what's across your waters is the light of the central sun, which is ascension, truth, healing. And it's direct, and it's, the word that's coming to my mind is imminent. It's direct, imminent. So it's happening. I'm also really drawn, like there's a lot of color, but I'm drawn to this sort of funnel or triangle or whatever that's going to the sun. It's green.
Yes.
What did we get in Across the Waters? Heart. Yes, heart. So this card for you, I feel, is also kind of validating or mirroring this message in the collective.
Right.
Because it's about that heart frequency, and the light of the central sun is yellow, right? It's yellow with that bright white. It's so bright. That yellow is so bright, it almost looks white. So I'm also getting for you this week, when we're talking about what's across your waters, what do you need to know about it? So when I was talking about that message, it's really asking the question, looking across the waters and saying, what is there for me and how do I feel about it? And I feel like when you tune in, God's going to speak to you. Also, ascended master energy. So you need to, I say, own ascended master. What would you be? What kind of ascended master would you be if you got to be an ascended master? Because I feel like that's kind of the precipice of what you're exploring right now. Ascended masters are alive, right? They lived life. They were incarnated. They went through all of the cycles, and they rose to that place of complete understanding of the game. So, and that's interesting, of the game, because that's our second question, right? It's the game.
Right.
So play the game with yourself this week of saying, all right, if this is my last incarnation and I am an ascended master after this, what's my name? What are people going to know me for? What is my magic superpower? Like, what is the thing that actually gets me to that level of ascension and awareness? So I don't know what that's going to be for you, but I think that's going to be some fun meditation.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. What energy can help me determine my role in the game? Are you ready for this? Make a mission statement for your soul. Isn't that what I just said to you? Like, get to know your ascended master.
Exactly. You can't make this stuff up.
You cannot. And I'm going to say to you, so it's a 58, which breaks down into a 13, which is a 4. So there is some foundational energy here that you are establishing, but I feel like the foundation is what I keep seeing in my mind's eye when we're talking about the game of life. I'm seeing a football field, and I'm seeing you being the grass on that football field. So it's like there's going to be a period of time where you are the grass that supports the game and supports the players. And then there's going to be a time when you rise out of the grass and you become one of the players, or you become the ball, or you become the goalpost. I feel like it all starts with you have to have that solid foundation before you can move forward. And I feel like that's what's kind of coming up and coming through for you at this time.
Thank you. Thank you. It makes perfect sense.
Awesome. Oh my God. I can't believe that this was what came up.
As you know me, you know it makes very good sense for me.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm just going to point out, the image is kind of like, it's like a pyramid, or it's supposed to look like a mountain, and there's a path leading up to the mountain.
It's a path.
It's your healing journey. And look at this. You got a path to the central sun. So
there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. And there's light at the end of the tunnel here too, because there is a sun right next to the mountain.
Yeah.
Dude. Mic drop. Boom.
Oh.
Where did he go? Oh.
He's right there. I hit the wrong button.
Hi, Indu. How you doing?
Hi, Stacy. Hi, Keone.
How you doing? They did an update, so there's new buttons all over the place.
Oh, I know. I ran into that this week too. I've had some interesting experiences with Google, Google Drive, and my Gmail and whatnot. So it was great to see you guys. Really cool message for you, Raghu. I can't wait to see where this is gonna lead you. So
thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Keone.
Yeah, look across
right.
look across the water.
All right, we've got 5 minutes left, so let's get a good morning, 2 a.m. South Africa time from Christopher.
Mm.
And then
Hello.
Don.
We're always so excited when you join us. It always blows my mind that someone would wait until 2 a.m. to watch the show. So I'm honored, and please know that as far as I'm concerned, that is no small feat, and I really, really appreciate that.
That's the YouTube family right there.
Yeah,
I like
it.
how they put the logo in there so you know who's commenting from where.
Yeah.
Then we have from Facebook, Don Hart said, I would love a card pull, please. If any time left, thank you.
Absolutely,
we got the end of it.
Don. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to do one of each for you. So what is across your waters, Don? What do you need to know about that? Oh, this is awesome. This is one of my favorite cards. So it's devotion to the small. So I want you to really take a look at this card, because what she's doing, she's got this spiral. So it's indicating sort of the spiralic nature of life, that we go around and around, not the merry-go-round or not the hamster wheel, that we often revisit certain lessons, certain experiences that we have, and we do it in multiple different levels and multiple different vantage points, so that we can understand the situation or the solution or the circumstance or the person fully. And what does it lead us to? It leads us to the simple, the small. And it's not simple and basic. It's simple and beautiful. That single flower managed to grow it doesn't look like it's coming from a garden. It looks like it's coming from just sort of something random. So it's kind of like that image. I'm seeing that image for you of the dandelion that pops up through the crack in the concrete. How did that flower push itself through concrete when there really wasn't a whole lot of soil for it to grow into? It wasn't getting a whole lot of water. It certainly wasn't getting a lot of sunshine, and yet it pushed itself through. So I want to say to you, I feel really strongly when we're talking about your across the waters and what do you need to know about it. You're powerful, and your power comes in doing less, not more. What's the saying? Work harder, not smaller. Sorry, harder, not smarter. Working smarter, not harder. Oh boy, you see why I told you that I'm sticking to 15 minutes, because I'm losing my tree, right? So working smarter, not harder is also indication for you as well that I feel like there's something in your life that you're currently working on, and you're putting so much into it because you want it to work out well. You want it to be perfect. You want it to be all the things. And I want to say to you, it's going to be all the things with less effort. And I know that feels kind of like opposite to what you're used to, but that's the message for you. Devotion to the small, focusing on the littler details, the smaller details, focusing on less. I want to say it's like, what do I say? It's like the concentrated. Your energy is more potent. So you need less of it in order to do all of these amazing things. And I feel the strength within you. So it's understanding that, and I feel like I'm talking about you like you're the flower, okay? So you are the flower, and you've put all of this work and this effort into growing. Now just experience the sunshine. Trust that project or that thing that you're working towards, it's going to happen now, and you don't have to work so hard. You've been used to working hard. You've been used to having to really push through. Now is the time to really just focus on what's right in front of you. Staying in the now, not staying small, staying in the now, staying present, and growing the small that is in front of you, working to expand what's right in front of you. Hope that makes sense. Wow, that just feels like electric to me when I'm tapping into that energy. Okay, what's my next question here? Sorry, my screen died. What energy can help me determine my role in the game of life? Okay, I'm seeing 2 cards for you instead of 1. So we're going to just keep those 2 cards. What energy can help me determine my role in the game of life? The now. Can't make this shit up. And, oh, this is a great one. Ambush fear with your ferocious dream. So I'm going to say to you, this thing that you have worked really hard to, you know, that this flower that you worked hard to become, you are ferocious, right? You are strong. You have so much to offer. You have so much to give. And it's ambush that fear with your ferocious dream. It's saying, you know what, fear, you don't have a place for me anymore. Or I'm grateful that you showed up for me, because when you showed up for me in the time and the place and the way that you did, it lit up in me, hell no, I'm not going to let you derail me. Fear. It's not happening. So acknowledge the role that fear played for you. And this is interesting, determining your role in the game of life. Acknowledging that fear played that role for you rather than the role of derailing you, right? And what I love here with this depiction is you've got an elephant. So elephants are the gentle giants. You know, they're very much about community. They love fiercely. They're not going to instigate a fight. They're not going to instigate battle, but they sure as hell are going to protect what is theirs. They sure as hell are going to protect their community or their territory or their environment if threatened. So working on a healing. Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like your animal totem for this particular project is also the elephant, and the now is where you need to be. It's not in the past. Past is the past. We can't get back to it. The future never really arrives. Be in your now, because this is where your strength and your power is. So I hope that makes some sense to you. Also, just going to point out the numbers here, because I'm always about the numbers. You got a 5, you got a 6. So there's a little bit of, I want to say, a sequence here of kind of deciding, okay, I started something. Is it worth finishing? And I want to say this, that the 5 and the 6 is definitely the, okay, we're exploring whether or not it's worth finishing. And then you got the 47, which actually breaks down into an 11, which breaks down into a 2. Not part of the sequence, but I feel very much that 11 is what's standing out to me. And it's really about you connecting to you. It's really getting that connection, that divine feminine and the divine masculine within me. It's also coming to terms with, I want to say, giving yourself permission to have what it is that you really want to have. Ambush the fear with your ferocious dream. And you're going to get that dream in the now by devoting yourself to the small. Working smarter, not harder. Thank you so much, guys. I'm begging out early, but I want to be 100% for everybody. And if I can't be 100, actually, I want to be 150% for everybody. And if I can't be that, I need to wrap it up. So sending everyone lots and lots of love. I appreciate you all for showing up today, for all of your love and your support. I hope you really enjoyed the messages this week. I feel like there's a lot of practical stuff that's going through. And, if you're struggling with some stuff, maybe you're struggling with some transformational, nonsense and shenaniganery that's going on in your personal world. Maybe you're struggling with what's going on collectively. Consider checking out my Ignite Your Wings Wisdom for Transformation. You got 1 day left, I think, actually 2 days left. You can sign up and explore it for free for the next 2 days. It's going to come to a close on May 31st. I think it's the end of the day on May 31st. But go to my website, check it out, and you can sign up for it. There's so much stuff going on in there. It's too long to list.
May 31st or March 31st?
Sorry, March 31st. Did I say May? Thank you for catching me on that. Yes, March. Sorry, March 31st. So 2 days.
You need to go to sleep.
I do need to go to sleep. I definitely do. And you've been seeing me sipping wine. I've had like 3 sips, so it has nothing to do with the wine. Everything to do with the energy. But definitely check it out. We got Archangel channelings in there. We've got card readings in there. We've got an Ask Me Anything, which is really about building community, giving you an opportunity to get to know one another by asking me all sorts of fun things. There's a transformation timeout. There's affirmations. I do a monthly challenge that keeps everybody engaged in their own practice and in their own way. There's just so much going on in there. And then we get the Phoenix Rising event, which is really popular. So thank you, everyone. I hope you all have an amazing, amazing week. Don't forget to smash the like button, click the bell, share with the friends and family. We love to put it all out there. Thank you, Keone. I appreciate you. Have a great week, guys.
150% is not a real number.